Pat from Rain Country Homestead. God is good all the time. Wait just a second. You guys hear that? I don't either. No traffic, no trucks, no trains, no planes. At the moment, no planes. All I can hear is a Tweety bird and a little bit of rushing of the water down below. This is relaxing. It's a beautiful day out here. It's all the logs that I've collected so far in amongst all my clearing that I've been doing. Haven't been getting in a huge rush. Stop a little, think a little, work a little. Yeah, kind of studying where the sun is. As eventually I might put a greenhouse out here. And we definitely need as much sun as we can with a greenhouse or growing a garden, obviously. And you can't have a whole lot of tree cover if you do that. The chipper has been working okay, chopping up anything and everything that I can get in the chipper to make usable material out of it instead of just slash piles like this. So whatever I can pull out of this pile here, it's remarkable how much of this material can be chipped up. But I probably have about 10 yards of chips already made up. I think it does a pretty good job of chipping. Here's the log deck that I have worked up so far. I don't know if some of these I could probably turn into lumber. This is Western Red Alder here. They can make furniture and countertops and cabinets and things like that out of it. I do have some cherry at the house and some walnut and different things, so I don't know if I'll do anything with that other than stick it in the fireplace. Guys always need firewood. This is hemlock. These are the two main species out here in on this property. I have a little bit of spruce, but not much. But this is hemlock. A lot of times they call this hem fir when they're making studs out of it. They'll make pressure treated lumber and posts out of this wood here, but you need a treatment process for that. There's things you can apply to that kind of wood, and a guy can make beams and posts out of that if he'd like. I'd much rather have cedar and Douglas fir. See, I wasn't going to come out here today, but I thought I'd bring the dump truck way down there up with a load of pit run. This soil around here has a considerable amount of clay in it. And what that means is if you drive over it just a little bit, I mean, that's true with any soil, but clay has a tendency to retain a lot of water. You can see that. I was up here yesterday and it started to rain on me a little bit, so I smoothed it out after I got in here and removed a big tree right over in this area and tore up an old stump. This old fir stump, this is old Douglas fir. They had a pretty good stand of timber in here at the first harvest, probably in the 1900s. But this is part of an old Douglas fir stump here that I was able to peel out of here. And that hemlock tree, well, actually I showed you one of the chunks of it there. I made 2 logs out of it. It was about as big as this one back over here. And I could just push that over with a machine after digging around the base of the root ball here. But this is about the same size tree, which is about 18 inches in diameter. And I could push that over with the excavator with a little bit of help about digging around the base of it. It's actually safer than trying to fall them, in my opinion, because I'm not a faller. But you think about it and do it methodically, slowly. Think about what's up above you. Think about the limbs, the old dead limbs. These this little tree right here, which is it's dead. You can see it don't have a top in it. Those things can break off easy. You can come back and slap you around a little bit if you're not careful. And believe it or not, no matter how tough you are, you're pretty insignificant when it comes to things falling out of the sky and hitting you. You know, you're pretty tender. All these trees here got to come out. This is going to be what I plan on as is the building site. So up in here, I got to bring a driveway in here. But the creek, it's down over here. And this actually got enough flow in it to where I can make electricity out of that, I believe. That's going to be another whole different project in itself. But anyways, down below here, there's I piled a bunch of rocks up there just to kind of see what I can catch. That'll be a fun little independent project. And believe it or not, between this down here, where the cabin I think is going to go, and I say think because that could change at a moment's notice. Between down there and up there where the excavator is about 10-foot drop. I shot that with a clinometer yesterday, and the difference was right at about 10 feet or so, 10, 12 feet. And so I'll be able to install maybe that stainless steel tank up there that I had gotten years ago, a few years back. Did a video on that. I could probably put that up there. I'll build a little pad, maybe add a couple more feet to it, but that'll give me about 10, 15 feet of drop to the cabin. So I can have, you know, pressurized water to the cabin. I might have to assist that with a 12-volt pump, but at least I won't have to siphon. So I plan on bringing, you know, like 12, 24 volts up to the cabin. That way I could put a little 12-volt sure flow pump or something like that in there and get me a little higher pressure, 60 pounds of pressure in the cabin. Well, and you guys might be asking, why are you guys building something out in the middle of nowhere like this? Well, that's a good question. You know, if the economy falls apart, if there is civil unrest, all those other things people talk about that may or may not happen, you know, I don't get too worried about it, but on the same token, I think we're supposed to do our due diligence. It's just kind of nice to have a little place to kind of get away, like a little vacation place. And I always want to do something like this, and I have a logical excuse. At least in my mind, it's a logical excuse. But anyway, that's why we're doing it. We like to be prepared as much as we can for all kinds of different things. So that's one of the reasons. Well, that's just the first of many. I figure if I'm going to be coming up here, I may as well bring something with me. Anyway, that'll kind of clean up the apron just a little bit, just the edge of the road. And we'll go ahead and get that started. Now we're just putting a rough, tall layer on this apron. And I want to get back to town and see about getting some more material before the pit closes. So I can get, while the weather's still good for us, we're wanting to get as much material in here as I can to avoid all this mud. Anyway, back to town we go.